Another legal loss for suspended Public Protector Busisiwe Mkhwebane. The Western Cape High Court has dismissed her latest bid towards the removal of the chairperson of her impeachment inquiry. Mkhwebane went to court after the inquiry refused her request to have Richard Dyantyi recused. She claims he unduly favoured and colluded with evidence leaders and gave false information to the media during an interview. Let's get reaction from Section 194 Committee Chairperson Richard Dyantyi. Thank you so much for your time this evening. I'm sure you must feel vindicated at this stage.
Good evening, Andy, and to your viewers. We have taken this inquiry very serious from the onset, because for us the inquiry is not about the public protector. It is an inquiry that is about the importance of that office, the Public Protector South Africa, as well as the reputation of Parliament. So in the manner that we have started doing things and everything we do, it is about preserving that and doing everything and walking in all the steps that we must walk. So we're very clear from the very beginning that the things that in the manner that we're procedurally fair and how we have applied our minds on everything else. And any court that we go to, it will find in our favor, because we've been very focused in the work that we do, not distracted, but remain dutiful and resolute to the task that we have been given. So it has come not as a surprise, but we're happy that we've passed this hurdle, and we hope that she will now stop everything else and focus on the inquiry.
So the Public Protector's Office is not going to cover legal costs for Mkhwebane, and there's still an outstanding legal bill. She no longer has legal representation until that bill is settled. So what happens now? Does Advocate Mkhwebane get new legal representation? And if so, does the whole hearing start from scratch?
Certainly the hearing is not going to start from scratch. I would not speak for her about whether she'll continue the same legal representative or get funds. All I can say is that we are almost at the home stretch, almost at the end of this inquiry. We left with less than 30 days to conclude this. We have gone out of our way to make sure that those role players that are important, whether it's the Department of Justice, the Public Protector South Africa itself, or even Treasury, play their role to ensure that whatever that is outstanding is found for us to conclude this process, because ours is not about playing that role and giving them money. Our task is that we must conduct an inquiry. But we have certainly, because we don't want this important work to fail, have been very busy in ensuring that very soon there must be a solution to that, so that we conclude this important work.
Could Advocate Mkhwebane legally represent herself at this hearing?
Well, Professor Thuli Madonsela would have spent 2 days with us on her own, and I'm sure all of you were watching. That she was able to deal with everything that was thrown to her. And so it's possible that can be done, but she had chosen at the very beginning that she needs a legal representation. The Constitutional Court would have made the judgment that says any head of this Chapter 9 institution must have legal representation. But it did not say who must pay for that legal representation. And it could even be herself doing that. She could opt to go to legal aid, which is a state institution that all of us go to. But with the work that has been done, in order for us to make sure that we don't get our process disrupted, as I indicate that those role players are very busy to ensure we find conclusion on it.
Yes. You did also say in your previous response that you're in the home stretch. I know it's very difficult to give us any kind of resolute timeline, but this process has already been drawn out quite significantly. Are you able, with some level of confidence, to say you expect conclusion to be reached within a month, 2 months, 6 months?
6 months, no ways. We've been given very clear deadlines. We want by end of May to go to the National Assembly and table a report with findings and recommendations. End of May. So you can count yourself what weeks those are. And when you look at the things that we must still conclude, 4 days of her outstanding testimony with her legal reps, about 6 or so days with evidence leaders, another 3 days for members and 3 days for closing arguments, and we give her about 10 days for the Audi process where she comments on the draft report. We are in line to conclude by the end of May, so it certainly cannot take us any 3 months or so. Perhaps the worst would be 2 months, but our plan is to conclude by end of May.
Well, thank you very much for that update. And that was Section 194 Committee Chairperson Richard Dyantyi.